Hello friends, good afternoon and welcome to EduSat Live Lectures. Dear friends, today in Sustainable Development Goals, we will be discussing about zero hunger, food security and sustainable agriculture. To discuss this topic, we have with us our subject expert, Professor R.B. Singh. Professor Singh is Professor in Department of Geography in Delhi School of Economics, University of Delhi. He is also Vice President of International Geographical Union. Without further ado, I would like to welcome Sir to our studios and request him to start the lecture. Welcome, Sir.
Thank you, Amritji. Dear viewers, today we are going to discuss a very important topic relating to initiative taken by United Nations General Assembly on 25th September 2015. As you are aware, 17 goals were identified, and we are going to discuss in this session one goal dealing with zero hunger, food security and sustainable agriculture. Actually, in this topic we have three components: zero hunger, that is ultimate our objective we are aiming for; food security, through food security we have to achieve the zero hunger, and then for food security we need to develop sustainable agriculture. So, I would like to develop linkages between these three important components of development. As you know, food consumption and its drivers are changing in both urban and rural area, with implication for food production. Mapping is very important. Mapping where food comes and why it is critical in particular area. It is very easy to understand through this process trends and their implications. As you know, informal street vendors are becoming a permanent component of food system, and policy makers must take the linkages between informality, food, nutrition and rural development. When I talk food, then my also attention goes towards nutrition. Nutrition is a very important component of food security, and most of the developing countries are lagging behind other developed countries regarding nutritional aspects. Food and agriculture policy making must be inclusive, so that we can have say of different cross section of society, giving a voice of residents of low income urban settlement and rural net buyers, as well as smallholder farmers and informal sectors. So, food security must be considered in a more comprehensive way, where we have to develop linkages between rural food security and urban food security. I would like to quote here a very important UN organization, Food and Agriculture Organization, 1996. Food security exists when all people at all times have physical and economic access to sufficient, safe and nutritious food that meet their dietary need and food preferences for an active and healthy life. So, what you are getting in this very important statement coming from Food and Agriculture Organization, that we need sufficient availability, we need safe, so food safety is very important component, and then the nutritious food for our need for and food preferences are also very important. So, on the basis of the above, three important dimensions of food security can be identified. First, physical availability of food. Second, economic and physical access to food. So, distribution is also very important, and then food utilization. I would like to quote a very important Indian agricultural scientist, Dr. M.S. Swaminathan, in 2011, I quote, "Food security refers to physical, economic and social access to balanced diet, clean drinking water, sanitation and primary health care for every child, woman and other human being, man," unquote. So, what you are getting here, that it is not only food, based on agriculture, but we need also drinking water is a part of the food system. Sanitation, because safety component is very, very important, it is a part of the food component, and the primary health care. In this definition, Swaminathan focused on 3 dimensions of food security: availability, accessibility and absorption. I would like to develop also linkages between food, nutrition and health. Healthy food is a basic need of human being. A good diet has a tremendous bearing on a person's health, emotional stability and enthusiasm for life. The question of affordability, availability and accessibility of the food for the people of every physical region of the world pose a serious thought. And so that is why it depends on the people where they live, what type of land use system they have, the type of landscape synthesis they have, what type of food they grow. These are very, very important. A nutritious and healthy diet is required for well-being and a healthy and normal life. In underdeveloped regions, backward regions, people are underweight and facing malnutrition problem, particularly the children. Deficiency diseases of different micronutrients such as vitamin, iodine, protein, etc. So, within our limited time available, we will try to see also these components. India has also seen use of new agro techniques affecting and influencing the socio-economic scenarios in different part of the country, and it also has a linkage with for sustaining food security of the region. Now, you can see through this diagram 1.4 billion people engaged in agriculture. If you will see the distribution, 1.7 billion work in services, 1.4 billion work in agriculture, 800 million work industrial jobs, 577 million are older than 64, 430 million are underemployed, unemployed, over 400 million are entrepreneurs, and 1.9 billion are too young to work, means they are between 0 to 15 years. So, this is the broader distribution within the 7 billion people living on this earth. Now, I would like to see a basic of food security, that is soil, and particularly the poor managed soil. Better management of soil is very much linked with the food security of a particular region. If soils are managed poorly or cultivated through unsustainable agricultural practices, then soil carbon can be released into the atmosphere in the form of carbon dioxide, which can contribute to climate change. Climate change is also becoming a very important component of food security. Climate change is becoming a threat to food security in different part of in critical region, and particularly in the monsoon area. This issue is becoming a very, very prominent. Climate change represents a serious threat to global food security, as you can see from different part of the world. Africa is one of the example, in mountainous region is one of the examples. So, a steady conversion of grassland and forest land to cropland and grazing lands has resulted in historic losses of soil carbon worldwide. So, such type of the conversion requires careful geographical inquiry. We have different type of land use system: forest, pasture land, crop land, grazing lands, and land use conversion and drainage of organic soil for cultivation are responsible for about 10% of the greenhouse gas emission. So, here through this diagram you can understand that since 1965 how the greenhouse gas emission from agriculture, forestry and fishery have nearly doubled over the past 50 years. Now, without greater efforts to reduce them, they could increase in additional 30% by 2050. You can see the trend line. Then you can understand from your own perception that soil management has become a very, very important component of food security and food production. It is very important to link food security with the climate extremes. Food security is dominated by impacts of weather and climate on food system. However, there exists a differences in a spatial pattern of food production among regions because of physical and climatic variability. Climatic variability is a reality, but the link between atmosphere and food security is more complex. Extreme weather events such as tropical cyclone impact directly on agriculture, but they also impact on the logistical distribution of food and can thus disrupt the food supply chain, particularly in urban areas. A holistic approach is required to understand the phenomena, to forecast catastrophic and predict their societal consequences. Technology and methodology are required to assess the vulnerability of people and places to these climatic hazards, and how might these be used at a variety of spatial and temporal scales. Threats to food security: high temperature, you can see increase electricity demand and make cooling processes at power plant less efficient. Drought means less water for hydropower, bioenergy production. Changes in precipitation pattern, what we are experiencing now, mean less predictable rain, snowfall, snow melts. Severe weather is very, very important. Earlier snow melt, then you can find the regional variations in this. And so, what you can see, the climate change is supercharging the effects of El Nino, and you can see here that seriously affected countries, some part of Latin America, northern part of South America, northwest part of South America, then in eastern part of the Africa, and then we have the some part of Southeast Asia. Among these regions, we have few regions very worst affected by this El Nino process. On the other hand, we are getting also the La Nina process in different part of the region. So, due to this uncertainty, our food system is threatened, and so that is why it is very important to examine global hunger index. And now you can see that extreme alarming situation we have in some part of Africa, or alarming situation also some part Afghanistan, Pakistan. These regions are facing alarming situation, but in many regions we have quite good food system. Even northern part of Asia, like Siberia or China, food system situation is relatively better. And so, what is the zero hunger challenge. I think 100% access to adequate food all year round, all the time, all the places. This should be our objective of zero hunger. Then all food systems are sustainable. How we can make all different type of food system sustainable so that we can continue producing food in order to satisfy the need of rapidly growing human population. 100% increase in a smallholder productivity and income. It is very important to improve income and employment opportunity in agriculture sector, because through this, and so that is why we need diversification, crop diversification on the one hand and the agricultural diversification on the other hand. And so zero loss and waste of food, that is a very, very important. How we can reduce loss of food. Farm sizes, if you see, and so that is why our food security, one can see a very close relationship between the global hunger index and then the global farm sizes. You can see in Asia or like places like China 0.6 hectare, India also 1.4 hectare, Vietnam 0.5, but on the other hand, you can, if you will go to the large farm sizes in USA like 170 hectare, Guatemala in developing country, here or Canada 314 hectares. You can easily correlate this, farm size with population growth. We have the fragmentation of the land holdings and, in area where we have more rapid growth of population. So population growth, or population control continues to be the very, very important technology for, providing the food security. But more specifically, I would like to mention about quality of human population, how we can improve quality of human population. You can see, as you know, drinking water, safe drinking water is very important component of food security. And now you can see the distribution of a global water stress. We have the severe water stress in large part of Africa, northern part of Africa, Middle East, starting from India to Pakistan, Afghanistan, this also the some part of southern and western part of United States, eastern part of Australia. We have, but in many places we have substantial water availability. So water availability is a very, very important component, and unless we improve our situation through water harvesting or water availability through different means, it is not possible to achieve total or holistic food security in the world. You can see what is the situation of in agriculture stress, and so growth of a few minutes I would like to now come to India, and you can see this, the growth of food grain production in India. You can see continuously increasing from 1950-51, and if you can see the percent of share agriculture and allied sector in GDP declined substantially. So this diagram is very, very important for us to think on the now you can see this land use system. Land use, as you know, land use is a synthesis of physical, chemical and biological processes on the one hand, and societal and human responses on the other hand. And so that is why through this land use system, it is a very, very important to link with the food security. Now you can see that it is very important for us to examine the extensification and intensification of agriculture. Through this extensification and intensification of agriculture was achieved starting from Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, particularly the western Uttar Pradesh. Here you can see we have regions, rice cultivation region, wheat cultivation region, and food system depends on type of food we are producing. So food production is very much linked with this land use system. Major crop areas you can see like rice, wheat, jowar, bajra. 68% of almost 69% of the area in our country falls under the dry land situation, where precipitation is less than potential evapotranspiration. And so you can see here we have large area under the wheat cultivation and then the rice cultivation. But we are getting a typical type of changing cropping pattern, where people are now shifting. In Punjab, highest productivity of rice was recorded not in Bengal but in Punjab, due to the heavy dosage of input or fertilizers or pesticide people are using in this. You can see this, the rice pulses are very, very important because it provides the very nutritious protein it provides. And current cropping pattern in India is percentage of the net cropped area, particularly during the Kharif time. Kharif time is a monsoon time. Now you can see this, here the Rabi time. In developing country, 30% of the agricultural production undergo different type of industrial processing, pre-processing. In high income country, 98% is process. So you can see the developing country like India, only 30% for processing of agricultural product, but on the other hand developed country 98%. I think we have to improve this status, take into consideration of the produce like rice, pulses, oilseed, other cereals. You can see this, a new initiative started by government also about the food security coverage, providing the employment opportunity to the people in rural area and also in some part of urban area. Now you can see the left side, the rural, almost the 75% coverage of the whole country, but on the other hand 50% coverage of the urban areas. We have, if you will see the distribution, 80% coverage in rural area recorded in some underdeveloped region of India like Bihar, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Orissa, Madhya Pradesh, then some part of the northeast region. On the other hand, if you will see this, the urban area, we have the more 60 to 80% more in covering states like Bihar, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh. Now you can see this India's contribution to the underweight burden, children under 5 years of age. You can see the comparison of the other country. In India we have 42%, even Bangladesh only 5%, Nigeria 5%, Pakistan 5%, other developing 43%. So this is a very, very serious problem, underweight, of the children, particularly under 5 years of age. This is very much linked with the nutrition. Now you can see the percentage of children under age 5 years who are underweight for slum and non-slum areas. Here now we compare. Slum means the worst form of visible poverty, like a poor area. And you can see this Indore, we have a very high, followed by even Mumbai or Delhi, this mega city, Chennai, we have so underweight children in slum, non-slum and the poor area. Through this you will be able to understand the type of status of nutrition in our country. Unless we tackle this problem, it is not possible to achieve full food security in our country. And so that is why agricultural growth strategy was adopted through Green Revolution. We were successful. We were successful about the achieving the Green Revolution, particularly in states like Punjab, Haryana, Western Uttar Pradesh. And you see there was mounting food crisis, the widening gap between the growth of food production and population growth, especially in Asia. And so that is why this pushed the people to move towards the Green Revolution using irrigation, better irrigation facility, high yielding variety of seeds, different type of plant protection services like fertilizer. So thus supply oriented policies were more likely to meet challenges of ASEAN than just village development program. The ground for successful production orientation in agriculture had already been prepared in 60s. But now presently, due to the Green Revolution, we are facing also different type of the problem. You see the modernization of agriculture. Ludhiana district recorded the highest productivity of some of the crops, but we found lot of micronutrient deficiency in the soil. Groundwater table is going down in many blocks of Punjab or Haryana. So these are the major concern. So modernization of agriculture was achieved, and here I would like to also mention that we have to go for selective mechanization in our country. We can't go for very intensive mechanization, because we have lot of substantial amount of unemployed people in our country, and it is very important for agriculture sector to provide also the employment opportunity. More employment can be generated if we can diversify our agriculture. When we should diversify our crops, now you can see food production in different agro climatic regions. We have high hill region, middle hill region, low hill regions, and food system differ according to that. In India we have a different type of system. Himalayan region, Indo-Ganga, Brahmaputra, the plain area, peninsular India, and then we have the dry region. So dear viewers, in this session we tried our best to understand the definition, improving our understanding of the food security, linking with the climate change, nutrition, and then looking the status in India. Thank you. In this session, we are going to look food security, zero hunger, food security and agricultural development, particularly taking into consideration of some empirical data. And I would like to put before you micro level experience of one of the very important critical region of Himachal Pradesh. Food security in mountain is a very challenging task due to the impending climate change, due to the physical limitations. We also we are lacking adequate water availability, and then infrastructure development. These are some of the important limiting factors. Now you can see the map of Kangra district of Himachal Pradesh. It is part of Western Himalaya. Altitude varies from 500 meters to 5,500 meters. So this district I have selected because through this we will be able to know about situation of India, because we have very substantial variation of altitude within our country. Administratively, the district has been divided into the 8 subdivisions, 17 tahsils and 4 sub-tahsils. Now you can see this, the altitudinal zonation of Kangra. Northern side we have hilly zone area, and elevation is more than 4,000 meters. Then we have lower part, we have the low hilly region, I think less than 2,000 meters elevation, and in between we have mid-hill region. So I would like to examine food security in all 3 different type of zones, and if you can understand this 3 zone, it is possible to understand food security of our country. If you will ask me to identify important feasible unit of development in our country, I would like to say altitudinal gradients. Block districts are maybe administratively more efficient, but for planning purpose, altitudinal gradients are becoming a very important instrument of planning. Here you can see the Bajnath, this located in the northern side, but we have the block like Indora, Fatehpur and Paragpur in the southern side. First important component of food security is production of cereals, because many subsistence farmers, they produce different type of cereals for satisfying their own needs, and when they have surplus, they sell to the local market or nearby market. Now you can see high hill region, we have very low cereal production, and also the Shivalik closer to the southern part, but the middle side we have moderate type of cereal production, because the good water availability in this zone, fertile, relatively fertile soil in this zone. But western part of this district recorded the high productivity, again due to the good availability of water. So water and soil, these two are the very important component of cereal production. Now you can see the vegetables, production of vegetable is very important for providing the nutrition food, and you can see the high again in the some part of western side and then the central part. Northern side we have the moderate type of the vegetable production. I would like to mention here that high hilly area we can produce off season vegetable also. This is very important for our country, because off season production of vegetable can provide lot of income to the local people. And so apart from other traditional agriculture system, they will have some income generating activity. So, our objective should be to how we can encourage farmers to go for off season vegetable production, so that such produce can come to the markets in plain areas or big cities like Delhi, Chandigarh or Lucknow, Patna area. Production of fruits. This production of fruits also require a special type of climatic condition. As you know, temperate zone is a very ideal situation for production of different type of the fruits, particularly in Himachal Pradesh. And so, we have more high production in that zone, but in subtropical area or alpine zone, we are lacking such fruit production. Production of meal, you can see again in the high area we have the very high production, and if you will see this the percent wise, we have more in central part, northern and central part of the region. Production of meat, if you will see in a particularly some part Dharamsala area, this again here I would like to mention also about the food habit can be linked with this also. In India, we have different type of social groups having different type of food habit, and so that is why many places we have more vegetarian people, where they require the more land to cultivate vegetables or the agricultural produce. For meat or other type of the production, I think within a very short period it is possible to grow and and provide need of the large number of the people. Eggs production, again a very typical area, large part of the, again here is a very important the type of community live, because sometime those who do not eat egg or meat or fish, they would not like to grow, they would not like to cultivate such type of the poultry or animal rearing, they will not go for that. Oil seed is a very important, we are lacking. Oil seed is a crop of dry areas, dry lands. As you know, in India we have a large part under dry land situation. Almost 68% area can be classified as rain fed or dry areas, where oil seed or pulses can be grown. Pulses is very important for providing protein to the Indian people, and it constitutes a very integral part of food system in our country. Here I would like to see that how different region has production of different type of availability of nutrients. Like you can see here, availability of carbohydrates from different food stuffs. It is possible to get from cereals, pulses, fruits, vegetables, the milk, and so you can see in northern side lot of carbohydrate, and the western side one can get a very high. What I would like to bring before you, that we need to have a balanced distribution system, so that area lacking a particular type of nutrient can be substituted by other region. So, one region can help another regions. We have to reduce imbalances in our country, taking into consideration of the food security. Availability of protein. we get from meat, get from cereal, pulses, vegetables, milk, and you can see the per capita per day availability of total protein in gram per day. High hilly region you can see very low, but when we come to the low hilly region, we have the high availability of protein because of availability of the milk, other cereals and the fruits cultivation. And so that is why temperate zone, climatically speaking, temperate zone may be the very, very important for getting protein. Apple production, as you know, is a very important component of Himachal Pradesh. Through diagram, we have blocks and then availability of micronutrients, gram per day. You can see total fat, gram per day, total protein gram per day, and total carbohydrate, total calorie. And if you see the Bajanath is one of the highest and located in high hilly area. So availability of maybe the milk production, or variety of animal rearing, animal husbandry, I think they are getting more calorie, but average in this region 3231 calorie. Indora, or if you comes to the Pragpur, particularly in the southern part, low hilly area, we have a very less 371. Then Kangra is a quite substantial 3949, so it is a very better situation. Availability of micronutrients in different altitudinal. Through this diagram, you will be able to know about the availability, total availability of different calories. Like you can see high hilly region, 3425, and from where coming 477 gram per day, carbohydrate, protein, fat, these are the mid hilly region 3748 and carbohydrate 587. So mid hill region has very better position, but on the other hand, if you will come to the low hilly region, I think the calorie 2475 and then 430 only from carbohydrate, 46 protein and 24. The type of life of people in this region, you can see. I would like to mention you that looking this problem, midday meal program was also initiated for school children. First started with southern India, but now it is almost all over the country, midday meal program. And one of the important objectives of midday program is to provide nutritious food to children, because as you know, we have seen earlier that we have underweight children, particularly from 0 to 5 years. It is very important to provide the nutritious food to them. Health condition of women and children is very, very crucial. Women and children are suffering from anemia, underweight. The main reason behind the anemic and underweight condition of the women are insufficient and unbalanced diet, low consumption of fresh green vegetables in a daily diet, working hours are more than 8 to 10 hours. These are some of the important component for the condition of women and children. Women are playing a vital role in balancing her act as a homemaker in the home and simultaneously in field as cultivators. Lot of women in the hilly area and many part of our country, they are considered as the best natural resource managers. They are involved in the variety of agricultural activity and also animal husbandry, animal rearing. I would like to mention here that in Himachal Pradesh, you can find in every locality the Mahila Mandal, women organizations. block level, district level, you have the separate building of Mahina Mandal. 42, I would like to put before you hear the data from Palampur General Hospital. 40 to 50% pregnant women are anemic in Kangra. So you can understand your own perception, the type of problem we are getting. 8, 9 child are underweight, 8 to 9, from 0 to 5 months out of 12 child, and 5 children are chronically underweight. This data is from Dharamsala General Hospital of the 12 children. So, like mid-hill region also having high availability of micronutrients, as we have examined availability of the animal products and other, and so we have the more calorie, more carbohydrates, where high hill region is good availability of proteins. However, the low hill region follow both in the region or the in the availability of the micronutrients. So, situation of the low hill region is very bad. Middle hill region leads in per capita availability of cereals, and food grains. High hill region, hilly region is having fairly enough per capita availability of pulses. I would like to put before you here a model of sustaining food security indicators. You can see adaptation of new agro technique in the region. Agricultural development indicators are very, very important. Social indicators, economic indicators, demographic indicators. Under economic indicators, we have per capita income, work population rate, percentage of poverty. Health related indicators, we have the crude birth rate, accessibility of health services, crude death rate, population per health institution. Infrastructure development is very, very important. So, we have to, here I would like to mention that we have to go for 3 type of initiative in our country. We have to improve the productive system, food production system. Second, we have to provide the infrastructure development, because through the infrastructure development it is possible to increase our productivity. And then also we have to see the food security a scheme we have to do, like a welfare schemes. So, infrastructure, if you will see, consider, this includes the road, transport, electricity, commercial bank, cooperative society, fair price shops, demographic indicators, the population density is very, very important. Educational indicators, under social we have 2, health and education. So, education like literacy, because education is a very important instrument for agricultural innovation, and so that is why the population served per school, female enrollment in school, these are very, very important. And now coming to the how we can improve the productive system, and that can be done through agricultural development. So, total irrigated area, how we can improve cultivated area, number of poly houses, agricultural society, infrastructure and commercial services, horticultural services, improve agricultural implements, mechanization, use of high yielding variety of seeds, use of fertilizers and other type of the plant protection. Now, you can see the data here, the block wise data, total irrigated area, total cultivated area, poly houses, access to agricultural society, infrastructure and communication, horticultural projects, different type of the data were taken into consideration in order to develop the composite agricultural development index, because such index is very, very important to bring different type of agricultural innovation in our country. Many schemes are being promoted, we have limitation of resources, we have several problems, we can't tackle all problems together. So, what we have to prioritize the problem, and for prioritization this exercise is very, very important. Like you can see, mechanization of farm through thresher, tractor, iron plowing, spray pump, power tiller, use of fertilizers like urea, NPK. I would like to mention here that soil testing is very, very important. Farmers are using different type of fertilizer without taking into consideration of the soil characteristics. Fertilizer use should be linked with the soil testing. So, that is why the Krishi Vikas Kendra can provide a very important advice to the farmers at a local level, because we have different centers all over the country. Even agricultural universities, it is a responsibility of different agricultural university to advise our farmers on these areas, how we can use different type of the nutrients, nitrogen, potash, or the phosphorus. These are the important micronutrients. Now, you can see this the block-wise agricultural development in Kangra. So, we have the high again in the some blocks where more literacy is there, the size of farm is also better, so that they can bring innovation, but the upper part we have the low agricultural development. They are going more and more for the livestock rearing. Level of infrastructure, if you see, due to the physical limitation, naturally infrastructure facility will not be better in the upper part of the region, but the southern part we have the better level of infrastructure. So, irrigation is very important. If you want agricultural development in any area, you have to bring irrigation, transport, better services, particularly the supply centers, high yielding variety of seeds, fertilizer, pesticides, timely availability, that is a very, very important, and people should get at appropriate time, at appropriate place. Level of sustainability of food security can be combination of composite agricultural development index, where we have the all different type of indicators like the mechanization, irrigation facility, these are. Then we have composite education index. This is this includes literacy, is a very, very important, agricultural innovations, because literacy is linked to that. So, education, awareness and agricultural participation is very, very important, and so that is why the Chopal or is becoming a very, very important. All villages should be linked with the central or a state level advisory services, so that people should get knowledge, how we can transfer the knowledge, because it is very important to improve awareness of the people. Health index is very, very important, composite influence and economic aspects, demographic index, because population density in this country is very, very important. And now we can see this, the situation of Kangra is better, Bhaurana is better, Raith block, but on the other hand Bajnath, which is located in the high hilly region, the situation is not so better. You can see the level of sustainability of food security in this map. So, Bajnath in the upper part, where we have the in southern part we have the better situation, the high food security availability due to the cereal production, but situation of high hill region is also better due to the other related vegetable production or the milk production. So, it is not only cereal production is important, but together with vegetable, fruits production, these can also support. Now you can see here composite value of all indices, different altitude zone, high hilly region, middle hilly region is a very important, ranking 1, followed by low hilly region second, and then high hilly region the 3, because cereal production is lacking in the high hilly region. Sustainability of food security. Kangra has been found variation in sustainability of food security from very low to high. Mid-hill region is highly sustainable, followed by the low hill region. Physiographic condition and socio-economic dimension are more sustainable for food security in mid-hill region compared to low hill region. Now you can see the SWOT analysis, a strength, weakness, opportunity and threat of food security. What are the strengths? Good quantum of rainfall, good road connectivity, good potential of fisheries, vast pasture land, diversifying non-farm livelihood and income generation, tourism and hotels so people can get the substantial additional income, medicinal plant, art and craft, a small hydropower. What are the weakness? Uneven distribution and rainfall, average land holding size, lack of market, low level of marketable surplus, lack of knowledge, poor water holding. But we have opportunity, huge demand for milk and eggs, incentive for establishment of fisheries, dairy and fishery unit. Climatic condition of districts are congenial for production of mushroom. Threats are naturally, as you know, this region is located in hilly region, soil erosion, no big market, loss of crop due to monkey menace, climate change, growing population, forest fire, increased infestation of forest with weeds. Now I would like to conclude that high hill region have a very fair production of pulses and eggs. Region is good for production. In some blocks the per capita availability is less, not sufficient. Now you can see the facts behind different type of the prices, very important, weather is important, global demand, biofuel policy, disease age, energy, these are the very important. Change in the agro technique of land use, blocks of rice, these are the very important. Sustainability of food security not only depends on production but depends on socio-economic level, and so that is why holistic approach is needed to understand, minimize the threat of food security. Few important suggestive measures I can tell: conservation of land for agriculture by enhancing production and extensive diversification, so that more and more livelihoods, promoting scientific agriculture such as soil testing, use of polyhouses, appropriate use of pest, ensuring e-chapal, water resource management, creating awareness about the government policy, plan, promote other sources of livelihood like additional, so that the additional income like tourism, and integrate market, agriculture, people and governance for portability and availability. So dear viewers, we tried our best to see the all linkages between zero hunger, food security and agricultural development. Thank you very much.
On that note, I would like to thank sir for this very enriching discussion, and I would like to thank you dear friends for watching our show. Stay tuned and keep watching. Thank you.